Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Coach Matt, EliteThrowsCoaching.com, coming to you today to talk a little bit more about glide shot put. Believe it or not, we are on video number 7 of our 10-part series. We're going to be wrapping this up right before spring track starts up here in New England. So we want to get these videos out the door to help you out. Now, today we are talking about the power position and opening up too early. It is a very big problem that happens to especially younger high school throwers that are just getting started out, and a lot of our younger college athletes at the D2, D3 level that might not have had the best coaching when they were in high school. So make sure, subscribe to this channel, click that notification bell right next to it, and like and share this video with your teammates. It helps out the channel quite a bit. This is an older channel, so every subscription, every like, every comment you leave down below helps to get the word out to other throwers out there so we can make the world a better place to throw. Gonna head out into the circle real quick, show you guys what's going on with the idea of opening up too early and why that's not a good thing. Meet you out at the circles. All right, we are having like hurricane condition winds outside right now. So if you hear what sounds like the roof about to pop off the gym and you hear some loud banging and boom noises, don't be scared. Coach Matt's hip didn't pop out of the socket. I didn't break nothing. It's just the wind is going crazy outside. So if you hear anything, don't worry about it. Try to bear with me as we get through this video. Okay, so problem number 7 is this idea of opening up too early. Now, in number 6 last week, we talked about the weight shifting between the feet and not keeping your weight back over that power leg. Opening up too early, in my opinion, is a different problem that sometimes kind of results in the same thing happening, the same bad thing happening. Remember, last week we talked about how a lot of people, if they're landing with their weight between their feet, they can be open with the weight between their feet and they can be closed with the weight between their feet. It doesn't really solve the issue of keeping the weight back and staying closed. Same kind of thing holds true where you can have your weight back. You can have weight back and be wide open instead of being closed. So you can have the weight on your power leg all the way, but then you're wide open. You're already starting to swing that left arm open. You're already starting to twist and open up those shoulders even though you have the weight back. And this is a big problem. This is something that we have to talk about and we have to fix. And it really has to do with timing, being a little bit too anxious, being a little bit too antsy, and wanting to throw a little bit too early. So we're gonna go through this real quick, show you some solutions, show you the reason why sometimes it happens, especially with younger throwers, and solve this problem and get you throwing farther. All right, so first things first, what is opening up too early? One thing I want to tell you is the way that I coach, the way that I explain to my athletes the power position is I say that the power position of the glide or the rotational or the discus, the power position begins when the blocking foot first touches near the toe board. Okay, so you can imagine gliding onto the back of the circle, the right foot hits, the left foot hits immediately after the right. As soon as this left foot hits immediately after the right, okay, it's a very quick motion. It's 1, 2. As soon as that left foot hits, that blocking foot hits, that is the start of the power position. It's not before it hits, it's not when you're mid-air, it's not when it hits and then you ground and you start to turn into the throw. The trigger is that foot touching the ground. So keeping that in mind, if that's the start of the power position, opening up too early essentially means that you're starting to turn and open up your body before this left foot touches the ground. Okay, so why does that happen? The reason why it happens, I think, is because when we're growing up and playing sports like baseball or playing sports like softball or football, we're taught to look and point where we're going to throw. So I can recall many, many years ago, my dad teaching me how to throw a baseball. And what he said was, take the ball, you're gonna look at where you're gonna throw, you're gonna step to where you're gonna throw, and then you're gonna throw it. So we're taught to look at where we're gonna throw and then throw. You throw in a football, look at where you're going to throw, throw. So pull back, you're looking around, look at your target, and throw. Now we've been taught that, and in shot, it's the opposite. You actually want to be in a power position. You're looking the exact opposite direction of where you're going to throw. As you transition or land in the power position, you're looking the opposite way. We don't want to be looking down the throwing area as that left foot comes down. We don't want to be opening up and peeking at where we're going to be throwing. We want everything back. So it's a tough habit to fix. It's something that we have to try to put into our athlete's head their very first day of practice, is that this is not looking and throwing. We want to keep our head back and not look at where we're going to throw until the very end of that throw. The head's not going to turn all the way around early. We want to keep the head back, the arm back, as we transition, as we land in that power position. Now, the bad part about this is obviously it creates a massive loss of separation and a massive loss of torque in that throw. We want to use our levers, and we want to use separation, and we want to use our body to the highest advantage possible. We want the throw as efficient as possible. We want our body to use every single inch of leverage and every single ounce of power that we can apply to the throw. So staying in that separated position, essentially having the hips facing one way and having the shoulders and your torso rotating back the other way, is going to provide a lot of stretch and a lot of built up torque so that we can put that into our throw. So if you can imagine in a power position, kind of have our hips, our feet facing one way, and our upper body, our midsection, our hips kind of twisted back the other way. We're creating a lot of stretch. We're creating a lot of torque with our midsection. All of that built up, bound up, wound up energy is going to actually get put into that throw. We want to keep it back until this left foot grounds, and then we want to actually use that torque and push that arm into the throw. If it's already open, well, obviously we're losing all of this rotation. We're losing all of this torque. All right, so you have an athlete who's opening up too early. You have an athlete that's losing all that separation. They're losing all that torque. They're peeking and looking at where they're going to throw before that blocking foot touches down in the front of the circle. What can you do to fix it? What are some good drills? Okay, so the first drill that we're going to talk about is just a power position throw. But it's a power position throw where we're going to pick the foot up and then ground it before going through the full throw, before going through that release and unwinding. So all you're going to do, you're going to get set up in a good power position. Okay, front of the circle. What we're going to do is we're going to have the shot up against our neck. We're going to lift the foot off the ground. Okay, so pick the foot up. We're going to put the foot down and ground it. Lift, down, and ground. Lift, down, and ground. And on the third or fourth one, lift, down, ground, and throw. Okay, so get them set up. Good power position. Up on the ball of the right leg. Left foot. We're going to ground it. Pick it up. Ground. Pick it up. Ground. Pick it up. Ground and throw. Okay? So we want to go through and teach them that habit, that this does not start to open before this left foot grounds. We want the left foot to ground, and then we can open up and go through our throw. The second drill, again, talks a little bit more about that idea of the landing in the power position. So we know when we glide on the back, the power foot's going to land first, the right foot's going to land first, then the left foot will land second. The left foot will touch down, that's the initiation, the start of the power position, and then it will ground and throw. So now instead we're going to put one more step onto the drill that I just showed you. Now we're going to do a little bunny hop in the air, right, left, ground, throw. So it'll look like this. We're going to be here, okay, ground, right, left, ground, right, left, ground, right, left, ground, and throw. Okay? So it just teaches them that sequence of right, left, ground, boom, and throw. Throw. Right, left, ground, throw. Right in a row like that. That's going to teach them keep their head back, keep their arm back until that left foot grounds near the front of the circle, near that toe board. All right, everybody, I feel like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz here. Like, I feel like this whole building's gonna pick up and lift off the ground. So I'm gonna get heading out. That's gonna do it for me for today before my Jeep in the parking lot gets blown over on its side. I don't know what is going on with the weather, but believe it or not, even with weather like this, outdoor track here in New England is only about 3 weeks away. 3 weeks from today, actually. So we got to get going. You got to get out there, you got to work, you got to practice. There are a lot of opportunities coming up. I'm going to put those opportunities, they're going to pop up on the screen at the end of this video. Make sure to check all this stuff out that just popped up. Make sure to see the stuff that we're doing in New York City, the stuff that I'm doing out in Allegheny in Pennsylvania. All of our online stuff, it's all there for help. So all the stuff that just popped up on the screen, give it a click, give it a watch. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below. And stay tuned, subscribe for next week. We are gonna be putting another video up next Tuesday so you guys can improve your form and technique. Thank you so much for watching. Click all that stuff that just popped up and I will talk to you next week.